What's going on, everybody? Chase Luck with another episode of Down on Main Street, Georgia's #1 all things Georgia podcast in this building. With me, as always, is my co-host, Miss Melissa Brown. What's up, Melissa?
Hello.
What have you been doing? We haven't seen each other in like a couple weeks, kind of. We're a little behind on this.
Oh, I think I have senioritis right now. I'm really excited about spring.
Yeah, it's here. Spring break's kicking up.
Yep.
But
already had some pool days. Our pool is open year round.
You didn't get in the pool, did you?
No.
I'm a wuss with the cold water.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the water, but yeah, it's just nice to feel the sun.
Which is funny because we'll be talking about a tubing place later on in Ellijay. So I've got a good story about that.
Water. Other than that, getting ready for spring break.
Yes, you guys going to go anywhere?
No, all of the kids are going out of town, and I'm taking this week to catch up and work.
Sounds exciting.
That's what I do.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere either. We're kind of taking it easy. Yep. It's tax time. Can't really go anywhere.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. 45.
I know, I can't
going on 90.
I'm a year older than you.
Yeah, my son was in town last week, and I threw my back out or did something. So I've been attached to a TENS machine for like 4 days just to function. So 45 is feeling rough. Eye doctor the other day, colonoscopy coming up, all kinds of exciting stuff.
Oh, not the colonoscopy.
Oh, yeah. It used to be like, hey, dude, we're going to go drink. Now it's like, hey, who's your colonoscopy guy or lady? But
well, cheers to that.
It is.
Congratulations.
It is. So where are we going today? And we've got a guest.
We're going to talk about Ellijay today. And our guest today is Adam, owner at B&B Tavern.
What's up, Adam?
Hey, how are y'all?
Great.
It's Friday. We're good.
Happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually partaking in a birthday beverage and didn't bring enough. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's your day. Enjoy it.
So I'm really excited to have Adam on. And our history goes back to this past fall earlier this year when I got into mortgages. I was full-time at Sidelines. And I've decided to leave Sidelines to do mortgages full time, and that was not the wisest.
Taking the leap.
Because the rates went up almost immediately. I had a little traction coming out of the gate, but I came to Adam and his GM, Emily, looking for one shift a week, just super part-time, a little bit of pickup, no big deal, and it was awesome. And then about 5 or 6 weeks later, I found myself in, we'll just say, a little bit of a financial hole. And so I came to them and said, listen, guys, I'm sorry to switch it up on you, but I need to work a lot more. I need money. And I'm going to try not to get choked up talking about it, but I sat down with Emily and Adam, and they just, number one, they were fully staffed. They did not need me. And they went out of their way, bent over backwards to come up with work for me. Not only that, but that night, Adam had an event, and he talked to the bartenders that were working and kind of didn't invade my privacy, but talked them into giving me a large section of the bar so that I could make money. Went up and down the bar and told everybody that they should take really good care of me. Also created a cash raffle on the spot, and I walked out of there that night with over $800. And wow. I didn't even really grasp what happened until I got home, and I'm not the kind of person that cries. I'm not an emotional person. I'm really not.
I thought you were just about to choke up a second ago.
I'm talking about this. That's the effect Adam has. So anyway, it just meant so much to me, and y'all didn't even really know me. I mean, I was a new employee. You guys take care of your people. Yes. And you have a very special operation there. It is meticulous attention to detail. The guest experience is an elevated experience. It's very thoughtful. There's thought that goes into every ingredient, every single detail of your guest experience. And as an employee, you hire amazing people. Your entire staff is amazing. When I called Emily, I ended up getting another opportunity that it was just a better fit for both of us, I think, with, you guys were fully staffed. But when I called Emily to put in my notice, I literally wept. Like I could, because I was so sad to leave because they're such great people.
Well, you're
And
going to
it's
get me
such a great
choked up.
place. I know.
That's about as strong of an introduction one could.
I don't know how to follow that one.
It's so true though. So, and that is at the core of what Chase and I love about this podcast is that we feature businesses that have a lot of heart, that are genuine, and that we want to support and that we love. So obviously it was just a natural thing to have you on.
Well, I appreciate that. Lots of kind words. I'll try and keep it together.
And you guys actually just bumped at the Claremont Lounge at our first place as far as how much radio time they got talking about.
I mean, who hadn't been to the Claremont to talk?
That's right. It's a staple, man.
It's a great meeting spot.
It is. It is fun for the whole family. Yeah. But so where are we going, and how is Adam tie into where we're going?
So Adam took over a space in Ellijay called Emily's, and there's a rebrand that it was complete recently. So
Yes.
it's B&B Tavern now. So we're going to talk about that. Let's just start with Ellijay in general, Chase. There's so much to do in Ellijay.
Gateway to the Smokies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little stop.
Yeah, I like to call it Atlanta's Mountain Hamptons. Because it seems like before, like in the early 2000s, and I was in construction and new construction, so I was downtown all the time. And a lot of my clientele was a little bit more on the upper scale. And at the time, there was a massive boom of development up there because what was happening is a lot of these people ITP or inside the perimeter were going up to Ellijay and Blue Ridge, building these beautiful cabins, these spots. And you just saw this massive flux of money and construction and development in Ellijay. And it really never has stopped. I mean, that place is a hidden gem if you've never been before.
It's cool, man. You see it 10 years ago and the way it looks now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like somebody came in with a brand new paintbrush everywhere and cleaned everything up. And they've done a really, really good job in the last decade of bringing people up there. And, you know, pick Ellijay is their kind of their slogan. So
Yeah.
Gilmer County Chamber is one of the best chambers I've ever worked with. And Ellijay and their team and that city and the way it's being managed it's really nice. They do it really cool up there.
And it's only, I think, a population of 2,000.
Yeah, it's very, very small because you're so spread out.
You don't feel it when you're there, though.
There wasn't much development up there. You could get you could get a lot, but, you know, Gilmer County had some things on development.
Yeah,
it's been released since. But.
And it's not a bad drive from Atlanta. It's close to some casinos. If you're a hiking person, obviously it's amazing. But so what brought you guys? What brought your expansion up into Ellijay?
Well, you know, we got B&B Tavern, which was originally named the Butcher and Bottle on Sixes Road. And then we bought another restaurant about 2 years later in Freeholm, Georgia. If you don't know where that is, that's on 20 and 372 on the way to Cumming. And it was called Catch 22. And we saw the two taverns. I mean, at the time, it was Butcher and Bottle Gastropub, and, you know, not many people know what a gastropub is anymore. And we saw the opportunity to rebrand both of those to B&B Tavern, and B&B stands for Butcher and Bottle. But they're neighborhood taverns, right? Yeah. They're right outside some very, very nice neighborhoods, very nice golf courses, schools. Those kind of things are what we think is a neighborhood tavern. So we made the decision to rebrand both of them at the same time to B&B Tavern and kind of build the neighborhood tavern brand of the overarching The Butcher and Bottle. That let us reserve that, what I perceived as an upper scale brand, The Butcher and Bottle.
Because tavern, you never quite know.
Right. Tavern.
You guys are
right
completely dialed in. It's a when you hear taverns, like, oh man, I'm gonna have frozen chicken fingers and some funky tater tots. But no, it's
upscale tavern.
It is.
Yes,
it is.
sure.
But it doesn't have a pretentious feel or anything like that to it whatsoever.
It's anybody, anytime, family, lots of cool people, lots of regulars. You know, you saw some of these people they're just bigger than life.
The
and they come
nicest
in.
people.
Oh,
I mean, and you guys attract good people. Yeah.
So I'd been on the look for a place to put the Butcher and Bottle as I want to say city center. You look at city center, you're thinking, you know, like downtown Alpharetta, downtown Roswell. Those are city centers.
Right.
And that's kind of, I think, what Ellijay is eventually, it's happening right now. It's already happening. It's going to continue to grow.
They have the room for expansion, which is great.
They do.
Unlike like downtown Woodstock is like, there's no more room.
There's nothing left unless you're going up.
Yeah.
And that costs a lot of money to go up. So
and a lot of tourist dollars too.
Right.
So my grandmother lived in Talking Rock, like right outside of Ellijay, and we're talking like 25, 30 years ago. And she did crafts, and so she would spend the entire year making crafts for the Apple Festival, and that used to be their entire economy. At least for her, it was. I mean, that was how she.
That's when Ellijay boomed one time a year. Apple Fest.
Yeah,
packed everybody in the States there.
Right. Yeah. So about 10 years ago, there's only a couple restaurants there, River Street Tavern, a couple other little things. So they kept rebuilding some buildings and allowing some of the historical buildings to be redone. I have a friend who moved to Ellijay and is planting grapes and has a vineyard, winery down the road. In the meantime, he started making wine for some of the wineries around there and got to know some of the winemakers there and kind of introduced me as well. He's a good friend. I'd go up and see him and watch him develop his little property there and go from planted pines to, grapevines in 2 years. So it was pretty
nice.
So I got to know, of course, he'd drive up to Ellijay. Let's go get something to eat, So eventually he introduced me to Rolf and Marina, who owned Emily's. And it was just something that they had mentioned that they might consider getting out of the single restaurant industry and get into catering. And, God put us together many times over, and it just worked out,
So how does it with the vineyard? So there's got to be the first plant or the first vine. So is this like someone go out the Napa Valley and kind of, when no one's looking, dig one up, stick it in his pocket, and tail off? Or
you buy your vines or your roots or whatever, very specific for the region, right?
For the soil type,
the climate type. So Georgia's basically known for muscadine wine.
Well, that's with Chateau Alon.
Right.
It's pretty much almost all muscadine wine, I think.
Oh, they ripped that up a few years ago and put a little bit more in there too.
Really?
So they added variety. So some of the other vineyards up there, Ingelheim, Buckley's, Cartacay, started introducing other grapes than just muscadine. And there's, a long time ago, it was just, I'm going to get sweet wine. Now there's all kind of stuff, man. They're doing Merlots and Blanc de Bois and all kind of crazy stuff. So,
yeah, I just didn't know. It's crazy because nowadays a vineyard seems to be like a event center, and so all these new vineyards are popping up. No, not really, but the vineyards that I've seen pop up in the last 20 years are smart because it's vineyard and also an event space. Versus when I was out in California, they're kind of just vineyards.
Yeah, there's no tap room.
Yeah.
The law that changed quite a while ago here in Georgia helped that out a lot too. So that's why you see the boom on the breweries and the boom in the wineries because now they can actually sell what they make on their own property in a retail setting.
Right.
Whereas before it would have to go to a distributor at a very low price and a lot of other challenges there with logistics and pick my stuff up and where's my empty kegs and all this other stuff. So
Sweetwater, New Realm, all those guys. Sweetwater revamped for their tap room, so now it's kind of an event space.
And they have a great restaurant there
they
too.
They do. And their Sours event space they built a few years ago.
The Woodlands, you like the Woodlands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's some cool beer in there, man.
It is. It really is. I know Sweetwater pretty well. They were a client of mine for a long time.
Well, speaking of Sweetwater, there's a plug for them. At both the taverns in Sixes Road and Freeholm, Sweetwater is our April beer of the month. We have a big focus on them. Their people are really cool. I've known a lot of those guys for a really long time from my past in the beer industry.
Owned by a weed company now. I can't talk. A Canadian weed company.
Really? I didn't know that.
Twice. Mm-hmm. Two different companies in a matter of 12 months. Wanted boots on the ground storefront in the U.S. and they bought Sweetwater. I mean, it kind of fits the premise, right?
Well,
Sweetwater is so just to me old school Georgia. Like
absolutely.
You're a Georgia native.
Freddie or whatever. He's
Freddie Bench
when he was
Kevin McNerney. They kind of
super teeny nothing, and they've grown it, and it still does have that good kind of local business feel to it, even though technically they're Canadian, eh?
They're an empire.
Yeah, kind of. They're no longer classified as a microbrewery.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, anyways, I'm like, ooh, bright light.
We got off on a tangent there.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, Adam, we do this silly segment on our show here, and it's called Vibrating. And the point of it really is to give somebody a feeling of what it's really like to be in whatever area that we're talking about, somebody who's never been there before. So everybody just work with me here and close your eyes. Really think about walking around the downtown area of Ellijay.
Watch the crosswalks.
A little roundabout. Okay, so if Ellijay were a song, what song would it be?
Man, I almost want to go like John Denver somewhere.
I was totally thinking that, and I think I actually said that about the Jasper episode, but once I start getting in the mountains, John Denver's implanted in my skull.
Country Road, Take Me Home,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't know what mine would be. Let me think about that for a second. Chase, do you have one?
Even though it's not technically Tennessee whiskey,
Yeah.
you know?
They just have their first distillery in Gilmer County that just started distributing. So
Really? What's the name of it, do you know?
I just got a flyer in the mail yesterday. I forget. That's
Well, if they need tasters, I'm here.
we're going
available.
up there. We're definitely going up there. So
Yeah, I'm going to say Tennessee whiskey.
Okay.
Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
That's a good one. A little Chris Stapleton.
With a touch of Justin Timberlake.
I'm going to go with, actually, Chris Stapleton, but the Steel Drivers, like
Yes.
the band that he was in before
Yep.
he went solo. And I don't know if I'm going to get the name of the song right, but Drinking Dark Whiskey, Telling White Lies is how I think it's just called Drinking Dark Whiskey.
They better be making whiskey up there in that distillery.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so if Ellijay were a beverage,
I'd like to say it's a glass of wine, for sure. It's wine country.
Yeah, now I'm switching. I'm retracting my previous thought. I was actually going to say Sweetwater, but now I'm taking it back. It sounds like with all the new vineyards, you got to think of a nice red wine.
There's several tap rooms down there. You know,
yeah, I think I'm with you guys on that. Before you said that, I was going to say maybe like a spiked sweet tea, something refreshing, but yeah,
Especially
maybe a
in
white
the warm
wine.
months.
it's a glass of wine, for sure. Or an apple cider.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got apples right there too, so
Heck
it's
yeah.
cider.
Oh, yeah, what?
Good thought of cider.
That was a layup, damn it. How did I
I
miss that?
knew we had Adam come. See, look at this inspiration. I'm loving it.
So we find ourselves as kind of foodies and being in the bar business stuff for a long time. We fall down the rabbit hole of restaurants and bars. So we have to let our parents and the senior listeners, all 7 of them, know that we need to talk about something else besides the booze, right?
I know.
The food.
We're like, oh yeah, there's stuff to do outside.
But that's with Ellijay, there's a ton of stuff to
There's
do.
so much to
Yeah.
do.
Go jump on the car decay and float down it for a little bit, and drive right back into town. Walk around, shops all over the place.
Yeah, so is it Cardiac River Tubing? I think that's the name of it.
I think they have a couple, but I think that's the name of it.
So this has been our group, like some of my family and a bunch of my friends, we'd rent a cabin every year. Biggest cabin we could find up there. There'd be 15 of us. We'd assign meals to every single group of 2 or 3 people, and we would do nothing but just eat amazing food, hike, run around the mountains and stuff for like 3 or 4 days. And so this has probably been 12 years ago, 10 years ago. My brother and I had the next day off of work, so we ended up staying an extra day, just he and I. And so we actually go and do the tubing experience in like the beginning of June.
Oh, it's hot.
Well, the water
The
was
water's
not.
not. The water's not.
Yeah.
It's still freezing.
So icy cold.
I had shrinkage for about 2 months, and my voice was 2 octaves higher in the beginning of June. I had no idea, because you get in there and you're like, okay, nothing's going to touch. And then I'm like, I got to get out. I got to use the bathroom. Hop out. I'm like, oh my God. I've seen a bright
still
white
cold.
light. I'm back in the womb. Like it was shocking. But there's hiking spots, and you might know better than I do. I haven't been up there in a little while, besides going to the, we'll go to the Ocoee and stuff like that.
Right.
And also, I'm forgetting the daggone waterfall.
Amicalola.
Amicalola, yeah. But besides that, any other good hiking spots up there, like besides eating and drinking, help give us the insight, paint a picture for the listeners.
So there's a lot of hiking. There's also a lot of mountain biking too.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of mountain biking, a lot of cool roads for, the casual motorcycle ride.
The Dragon's Tail, is that in Ellijay or close to it?
Oh, no, it's not. It's about an hour.
Is it? Okay.
About an hour northwest of Ellijay.
Strike that comment.
Yeah. I have, other than walking around the city, I haven't gotten into the hiking yet.
Well, there's a really great that I found. Pick Ellijay has a really big presence on TikTok, and they do a great job of showcasing different spots, hiking trails. They've had, I think, like 4 different hiking trails that they had great video footage of. So Pick Ellijay, I think they have a podcast too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're so active on social media, so that's a really great resource. We just stayed in an Airbnb just recently, just like 5 or 6 weeks ago, and after my grandmother passed, all of my visits to Ellijay were that. But now all of my visits have been going up for, just like you said, like a cabin weekend and exploring around town and stuff. So
yeah, if you're in Atlanta, it's quick, easy access just to sneak away for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
it is. And if you're an RVer, there is this really, really, really nice RV spot, campground.
Is that the one where people have like permanent memberships, but you can also come as a
Right.
guest?
Oh, yeah.
Jason and Lori used to have a spot up there.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Is
my
it like
grandparents
horse stables
had
and
it
stuff and all
in
that stuff there.
Helen, too.
Is that right? Is that
I
the same
have
place?
not been. I just hear a lot of our guests talk
Yeah.
about it. And I have a camper. I do some camping. I haven't been to that one yet, but it's cool. I think it's called Tocoa.
Yeah, I think that's the same spot. They had like a membership.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, my grandparents read it. Well, it was in Helen, but it was called Mountain Lakes.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's one of the
Cabins for
nicest ones
rent.
you're going to get in. The build out's done really cool. You can do individual stuff on your sites, and
Yeah.
it's cool.
There's so many Airbnbs up there too. So when we went up, I was up on it. Well, I worked most of the time, but I came up on a Monday, so I didn't get to go to B&B. But we went to Ellijay Wood Fired Pizza, and that's a really cool spot. I was really impressed with their special of the day. We had like a duck pizza, like gourmet pizza. And there was a server there named Chelsea that just owned the room. I mean, she was the main character. Just everybody there was really, really nice. Had some sangria. That was really fun. I did some shopping, walking around to the boutiques there. There's a place called Lavish that had a really great clearance section with jeans, vintage T-shirts, super cute. Everybody there was really nice. I enjoyed that. I kind of left the family behind for the day and went out into Ellijay by myself and just, messed around for 3 or 4 hours. It was amazing. Where else did I go?
I want a duck pizza now.
Yeah.
It was,
Sounds good.
Duck confit pizza would sound
Yes.
really good right now.
I mean, I'm telling y'all, it was
With a side of duck fat french fries. You ever had duck fat french fries?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Life changing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I remember the general store that's in the square, like the actual, I guess the downtown store, like a little general. It's like kind of had that old school feel of country store.
Oh, yeah.
I love stuff like that. It'll pull me in if we're just driving down the road and we're not on an interstate and we're traveling, and I'll see something like that. I'm like, oh, honey, we got to pull over. You walk out with a bunch of knickknacks and random things you don't need.
I really did. I got a lot of really. I'm kind of a sucker for jewelry, like handmade jewelry and one of a kind stuff, and so I purchased jewelry in 3 different boutiques.
I was
down
going to
there,
say
so-
there's 4 or 5 of those there.
Yeah, there was one, and I wish that I had remembered the name of it, but they had the most wild jewelry selection, and that's like I'll drive up to Ellijay just for that, just to find unique stuff. So just a lot of personality in the area in general. It's so
And
cute.
let's talk about the festivals and the big events and stuff like that up there, because it's the apple capital pretty much of Georgia, I would imagine, right?
It is the apple capital of Georgia. Apple Fest happens once a year. They're actually adding a new festival back, kind of bringing it back, I guess. It's a Singers and Songwriters Festival of Ellijay Singers and Songwriters Festival. That's put on by Ray Dog Production. If you ever met Ray, he's cool as could be. He puts on a good show. So it's right there, Memorial Day, 26th, I think, May 25th, May 26th through the 29th. Performing at all the wineries and at the Playhouse Thursday night. So really cool festival, bringing them in, Nashville nationally recognized singers and songwriters. So we're going to have some acts play at the Butcher and Bottle.
I'm so sold.
Yeah.
I'm there
Or
already.
the Hala and Yella Festival or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? Right after that. It's the one where Sasquatch pops out of the woods and it's playing the saxophone.
Yeah, I don't know about that one yet.
I think it's called Hala Yella, festival. It's a bluegrass, blues.
Oh, the Bluegrass Festival. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I know it is a Bluegrass Festival.
Yeah, I think last year at least it was June 9th through 11th. But I think Old Crow Medicine Show was there last year.
There's been some big acts come through.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some really cool stuff at the Vineyards mainly, and then at the Playhouse that Thursday night when they all get together and kick it off. So.
And then when are they playing at B&B? Are you guys going to have music that whole week? Or?
We will have music the whole week. Starting Wednesday night, you've got some of them coming in. We have music every Wednesday night. It's open mic night, and it's played by a live band. Local artists, very, very talented, can switch from one genre to the next, to one beat to the next. Like Gabe's the guy that runs it. He does a really good job. So, that's every week, Wednesday open mic, and then Friday and Saturday we always have music as well. So this week we're going to turn it up a little bit. We'll have an open mic night, hopefully get some of those singers in there. Thursday night, we're going to shut down at 9, and after they're done singing at the Playhouse, it's the after party from 9 to 11:30, or as long as they'll let us sell drinks, I guess. Whatever that law is the after party. So all the singers and songwriters, we're going to keep the open mic set up and just let somebody feels like getting up there and sing, just get up there and sing.
Not quite karaoke, but
yes,
talent can pop up there.
Yes, so they'll rotate through, and then we'll have music Friday night from one of the guests from Nashville, and then Saturday, Sunday, we're thinking of maybe doing a little daytime patio music and a nighttime show. Sunday, definitely looking at Saturday and trying to predict the weather is going to be the biggest thing.
And that's Memorial Day.
That's that Memorial Day weekend, yes.
So, I don't even remember what month Memorial Day's in anymore.
That's May, right?
May.
Which, so let's see. So September through October is apple picking season up there, right?
Right.
So we have the Apple Blossom Festival. I think but that's in May though, right? Beginning of May. I think that's right. And so you guys, Amicaloa Falls is a pretty easy drive from Ellijay. What else? Oh, the Appalachian Trail, like the entrance or the start points
Appalachian Trail,
is Ellijay, right?
Yep, right down there.
For those people that I've seen some crazy stories about the Appalachian Trail. You got to be built differently to do that.
I know a guy who took his 12-year-old son and walked from one end to the next.
How long did it take? Months?
I think it took him like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it can take up to 6.
Yeah.
Like it's my friend Chrissy's son Cameron did it by himself. And he trained leading up to it. He camped out in their front yard. I mean, he did a lot, it was pretty intense stuff. And then the gear that he bought, he ended up 2 weeks in was like, nope, I bought all the wrong stuff.
If I'm camping in the front yard, I got in trouble at home.
Yeah, you had to camp in the backyard.
He was taking it very seriously. But yeah, he did it by himself.
That's crazy. Hats off, but you got to be built differently.
That's a long walk.
And what do? You're like, hey, I'm going to go hike and I'll be back 3 months.
I think it depends. You can do partial. You can do part of the trail. There's drops all over the place. So if you do the entire thing, I think it's at least 3 months.
That's cool. There's been some really cool documentaries and stuff about the Appalachian Trail. I'm a documentary whore, so I'm constantly watching.
I can definitely watch that.
But what else? What do we got?
Love that. Not much else. Just the Apple Festival, honestly, the one that's in the fall. So is there one in the spring and then one in the fall?
I thought there was. I know the Apple Blossom Festival.
So that's Apple Blossom. And then I think the Georgia Apple Festival is the one that's in the fall. And that's the really, really massive one.
And thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, camel rides. It is a huge space. They have every single.
Why camels?
I don't know, just because I pay $20 to ride on one.
I thought it was a donkey thing, but
they pull out all of the stops. There is on those grounds, there are a million things to do. So it is a full day.
Hey, they've got the Sasquatch 5K coming up in a couple weeks. You got time. You
I
can
think
still
I
get in
could
on
do
it.
that. Let's do the Sasquatch 5K.
I'm sponsoring it.
Are you really?
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I really might come up and do it then.
That's cool.
Heck
So what's
yeah.
crazy is to, and tell me if I'm right, I think I'm right. So to encourage people to really get to the 5K as much as possible, they've had someone trapped for about 3 years that has not shaven, and he's rabid and very angry. And so they tie a pork chop around the last person and run. And so that gets you through the 5K
A little
quicker.
motivation.
You would be amazed at how many people come up for that little museum, that little Sasquatch museum.
Yeah.
They've
What is
obviously
it called?
done a great-
Expedition Bigfoot Museum.
Expedition Bigfoot. I have not been, but every time I drive by there, the parking lot's full.
Really?
Some of our guests come in and talk about, hey, we came up to see the Bigfoot. I'm like, oh, okay.
Just last night, I watched a very accurate documentary on a bear up there, Cocaine Bear.
Oh, wow.
Have you guys,
Bear?
have you not heard of the movie Cocaine Bear?
I have
No.
not.
So this is the movie is loosely based off a true story. So I think it was back in the earlier mid '80s. Drug runners doing drug runs, right? And so they're just dropping coke out of the plane so they can land at the airport and backtrack and go get their coke. Well, I guess something happened. The guy jumps out of the plane with they said it was $15 million at the time worth of coke, dies. A bear gets into it, ODs on 25 pounds of coke.
Lord.
And so they found it, stuffed it, and it's been passed back and forth between these oddity shops and stuff for years. And so now I believe it's either in North Carolina or Kentucky. This happened in Georgia, up in the Smoky somewhere, but now it's on display at some little sideshow attraction, I think, in North Carolina. But they made a movie off of it, except in the movie he's ripping people's arms off and doing blow, and
He keeps going back to
he's
it.
got bear strippers and stuff in his little den. So it's very loosely based off of the actual Cocaine Bear.
Wow.
Side note.
Amazing. That was just something I didn't know I needed to know today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for sharing that.
And on that
Sincerely.
turn, let's talk about Ellijay real estate. So median price of real estate up there actually runs around 250 to 275, but don't let that mislead you. There are a lot of beautiful, stunning, crazy cabins, log homes, high-end luxury homes that are almost all in the Airbnb market. Like the tourism market up there is outstanding and it's growing. So finding land is a little challenging out there nowadays, but you've still got a very active real estate market up in there. I actually going to look at a lot, and I don't remember the development with an investor next week up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of them come into the restaurant and say, yeah, we're here to look at land. And
Yeah.
I'm a land buyer myself, so I've looked at some land up there too. And it's some
I would
really
love
cool,
some land up there.
It's cool
So
properties.
can
up
you
there.
see yourself relocating up there?
I don't know if I'd ever relocate as much as I would just have an additional home up there.
Hey, Airbnb it when you're not using it,
Airbnb it when you're not using it.
or VRBO.
Well, and kind of the flip side of that too is that with the prices in the 250 range is that it's affordable for like a USDA loan as well. So for a young couple that just wants to get into the market and own, it's a very
Yeah, it
viable
would be
place
perfect.
to do a USDA loan with a renovation or purchase land if you can find any and do new construction with USDA.
And there's no way it's slowing down up there. Everyone.
No, I started looking at land a couple of years ago, and buildable land within a decent driving range that didn't have a view, but just regular lots were 8 to 12,000 an acre, and they're
Right.
15 to 20,000 an acre now.
Yeah, and that's probably not even a view or a body of water anywhere remotely close.
Probably correct. Yes,
Impressive. It's a good area.
it's a lot of good builders up there too. I mean, so
I might have to go look for one. I got to bring an investor up there next week and take a look. But he's like, we were going to actually go into Big Canoe, and he's like, I know, I want to be somewhere that's a little more, because Big Canoe's so self-contained. It's awesome,
right.
but it's so self-contained. And like Ellijay, you've got a little bit of everything right there in that little downtown area.
Well, and there's so many, like you said, there's so many different ways you can go. You could build on, which side of 515 you want to be on, and do you
I'm
want
a
to
left.
be
I'm a left side guy.
Do you want to be close to the car decay? Do you not? You want to slide? I mean, even Talking Rock and
Yeah.
Carter's Lake and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Carter's Lake's beautiful. So I know we've been talking happy stuff, but I'm going to have to bring it down a little bit. So we've had a passing in this real estate industry, and I think you said you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd like to honor,
That did not come in smooth. Go ahead.
but I have a lot of conversations with people about the 2.5% rates.
You're my boy too.
People just don't want to let go. We're not going back, guys. We got to let go.
It's gone.
You have to let go. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's the relationship is over. It's time to move on.
People tend to have a short-term memory when it comes to the 2s and the 3s.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm thrilled for you. Genuinely, if you refinanced or purchased during that magical window.
I'm in there.
But it's over, and it's time to say goodbye.
I might
So
have.
rest in peace, too.
I did enjoy it. Actually, not 2, 3. But yeah, we've talked about this before. Once you look at if you look at a 15-year, 10-year window of rates, this was just a little small little touch. It's not like this is going to be back, maybe, possibly ever.
Yeah, which, I think it was amazing.
It was enjoyable. It was crazy. It was a Wild West.
Really great.
We might be paying for it now, actually, a little bit.
I just think some people are a little bit unrealistic about it when we're talking about the rates coming back down eventually, when this cycle kind of comes full circle, that's what they're waiting for and I'm not, who knows? But for now, let's say goodbye. It's time,
Like
it's time to let go. It's time
Marry
to
the
let
house, date the rate. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
But say goodbye to.
And if you can't answer this, that's fine. But what's on a typical mortgage? What's turnaround time if you wanted to refi?
If you wanted to refi, 3 weeks.
Really?
3 weeks.
I thought it was 3 months. I guess I should have known that, right? I always thought it was 3 months.
Well, with us
Ah,
at Mortgage Solutions.
ding, ding, ding. I don't
We're good.
have a ding, ding sound effect. I can't find the damn thing.
Or are you talking about seasoning like after you purchase?
Well, let's say for some insane reason you buy at 6.5, and then a month later, which, let's be honest, that's not going to probably happen. I'm not a mortgage professional. This is just us talking. But if someone wants to know, because I've been asked for, hey, when can I refi?
It depends on the kind of loan that you have, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I can't answer that black and white.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, for legal reasons.
So where are we going to go next time?
I don't know. It's wide open.
Yeah,
we
we
can
kinda
circle
haven't picked a
back
spot.
to Canton, or we could kind of start our circle over.
Well, we can hit this other side of the Beltline. Actually, Danny, I think, is going to come on or wants to come on. And Danny knows the south side of Atlanta and that side of the Beltline really well because he's worked down there for 15 years.
Okay.
So maybe that might be our next guest.
Okay.
My partner in crime at Main Street Group, Danny Dwyer.
That sounds fun.
So how are we going to find everybody? Adam, first off, most importantly, you're the guest. Please go first. How can everybody find you guys?
All right, so we've got, B&B Tavern, Free Home, B&B Tavern, Sixes Road. Those can all be looked on Facebook, social media, Instagram, TikTok, Google. Fixing algorithms in Google is very challenging.
Yes, it is.
When you rebrand a business that has a permanent address in Google, it is tough.
Have you tried to change your phone number yet in Google?
I don't even want to think about it.
It sucks.
They've got to mail you a letter,
Just a
snail mail, and then you got to
Absolutely,
wait
yeah.
for the code and all that. And then we're at thebutcherandbottle.com for the Ellijay location. All three of those websites will show you the other locations as well, and you can kind of pick from there. Amy, who is Brian's wife, Brian Stanley is my business partner, and Amy does the marketing. She's doing a great job. We stole her from a 9-year job at a really cool place. So we're lucky to have her on board and getting things done. But Google is just crazy. So 24 River
Powerful
Street.
beast.
Yeah, 24 River Street in Ellijay. Sixes Road location is 3568 Sixes Road. And then our Free Home location, which is still technically a Canton address, is 12418 Cumming Highway. It's in that public shopping center right across the street from Free Home Elementary.
Sweet. How about you, Patna?
I think lately the easiest way to get in touch with me is social media. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm still TikTok obsessed.
Like her, follow her.
Or simple. Honestly, I'm a simple girl. Text her, phone call 678-939-0666.
But wait,
what?
some of these creepy dudes got to leave you alone on Instagram. So our Down on Main Street Instagram page, we both manage, right? And so I'll see, I got an email notification. It's like, sup? What are you doing? It's disturbing.
Become a communication channel.
I don't know why I'm not getting any of those. Why don't I get those?
I mean, you don't want them. Trust me.
I want a creeper.
It always
Not really
starts
bad
off
one.
nice, and I had one interaction with a guy where he was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Hey, because I work on referrals, I'm not going to be nice to everybody, and I'm putting that's the whole reason I'm on social media." And so I was like, "Hey, good." And he said, "What have you been up? What are you up to?" However he said it, and I was like, "Working."
That
all
was
the
a PG
time.
one.
That's all I do. No, this guy I got into it with, and so he just kept sending me random messages that made no sense, and so I was like,
That was a robot.
no, I kind of came out and said I had this influx of like 20 friends.
Well, the robot's anatomy was oppressive.
No, this guy got really mad at me, but it was like overnight. I had like 20 friend requests a day, and I'm married, and so I'm not going to talk to dudes in private messages unless you want a mortgage. I don't know you, and so it was all these messages, and I was like, I'm just going to ask one of these guys, like, is there a setting on am I in Facebook dating world? And so I said, hey, let me just ask you a question because I'm getting all of these friend requests. Like, is there something on my profile that says that I'm single? Like, I need to fix it. If not, and he was like, you're so full of yourself. You think that you're pretty. And, I was getting in touch with you for a mortgage. And I was like, I just said that I was working all the time. That was kind of a segue for it. But I mean, he lit into me. So now I won't say anything. I'm just like, oh, hey, hi.
Prank caller.
How you doing?
I saw some. I was
creepy.
what the hell, man? Come on.
There's definitely
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You can find me, Chase at gamainstreet.com or gamainstreet.com. Down on Main Street, GA. Facebook, Instagram, email, website, whatever it is. We're here to help you out with all things real estate, including buying and selling and mortgages. Until then, I guess we're heading back to Atlanta next time.
Okay.
Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.